Welcome to a dragon hunt. I'm the seasoned veteran, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. Is this the place? Let's set up an ambush here. Oh, that's
Godspeed.
it? Okay. The Raybor meticulously scans the surrounding area and appears pleased with the results. The talon-like hooks of several collapsible spikes protrude from his pack. The dwarf procures a small, tightly wrapped bundle from his pocket, and its pungent smell fills your nostrils. Come over here, this is where we'll set up an ambush for the dragon. Let's light as many fires as we can, so she thinks there's a whole caravan staying here overnight. Can be sure she won't resist such easy prey. How do you plan to lure the dragon here? He just explained. We will act like a group of careless foragers, ordinary hunters looking for wild game to provision the Crusader army. Let's go out hunting, and then we'll hang the carcasses up on hooks to clean them and gut them. When the dragon catches a scent of blood and sees the fires, she'll think we are inexperienced nobodies. After all, no skilled hunting party would draw so much attention to themselves. Easy prey, you see. Then when she swoops down upon us, we'll pounce on her instead. What is that stench? It's frog's eye, some herb from Magnamar used as a seasoning by the Varisians. I'm not sure they can even eat anything without it. The heat of the fire will cause the smell to rise up in the air, where the wind will carry it far and wide. The dragon will surely catch our scent and take interest. Dragons have a heightened sense of smell, and their sense of taste is even more discerning. The beast won't be able to resist the chance to try some new, strange kind of meat. The dwarf nods his approval. He is calm and composed as he readies himself for battle, but his eyes shine with excitement. This is going to be a fine ambush. I can see her, Commander. Get ready to fight. Sound the alarm.
Let us press on.
Simply business.
Stand with me.
Try to pierce through the scales. If the wound is deep enough, we'll be able to use the trail of blood to track her down. Just happened. Well done, the wound is so deep she loses a lot of blood after. Okay, where is she?
We march ahead. Our path leads on.
Do I need to leave this area? What did just happen? Hello? Game? Am I supposed to leave this area now? Maybe?
I will guide us.
Okay. Day 20, month Cathona. The ground is covered in fresh dragon blood and deep claw marks. The winged silhouette soars high up in the night sky and heads east, doubtless toward her lair. The assassin gives the commander a thumbs up and throws his pack over his shoulder. The ambush was a success. A serious loss of blood, though not fatal, causes the dragon's heart to compensate by contracting more rapidly in order to oxygenate the muscle. This makes it more difficult for her to breathe and weakens her wing capacity. The lack of oxygen that leads to convulsive seizures that force the dragon to descend for short rests. It takes her the entire night to travel the distance she could normally cover in a few hours. Is she? Blackwater, Sacred Land, Ivory, Molten Scar, Disgusting Feast, Crimson Dust, Bloody Trail. Track down the dragon. Okay. Well, there we go. We can recruit new units. Perfect. Of course, we're going shield bearers. That's also good. We don't have paladins yet in our main squad, right? Inquisitors, slingers, I don't care about those. Paladins. What about paladins? We don't have any paladins in our main army, okay. You get to our main squadron, please. Slingers, raiders. What do we have in our secondary army? Paladins we do have. Besides that, there's a lot of new stuff here that I don't really need. Go there, please. Okay, so entire full day passed. Perfect. Records of Pelura's stargazers. The study of the stargazers' observations made it possible to ascertain some interesting patterns in the life of the world wound. Namely, discover a date when the connection between the two planes, Golarion and the Abyss, is the strongest and energy freely flows both ways through the rift. The date is the third week of Gozran 4717. Interesting. Does that mean that we have 2 years left? And then we're all going to die? I guess. Okay. First blood. One of the officers has been bringing recruits to the prison so that they could fight weakened captives and kill them. He wanted to prepare the newcomers for their first battle, but unfortunately during one of the training sessions, one of the soldiers got killed and everything came to light. Leadership experience points... Right to pardon decree. 30 cultists are recruited at the commander's headquarters. Nah, I don't decree. Recruit prisoners who will prove their worth through the... Nah. Forbid touching prisoners. The cruel treatment of the prisoners tarnished the honor of the Crusaders. Many of the soldiers were inspired by the commander's noble actions. What else do we have? Logistics reform. Every piece of land the Crusaders seize from demons puts additional load on the logistics and supply demand channels connecting the Crusaders' troops. In order to maintain this tight network, experienced officers are required to implement reforms to logistic processes. Strengthening diplomatic connections. And financing a crusade is a costly process, and the diplomatic council has to come up with new tricks to preserve the friendship of countries and nobility. Sponsoring the commander's army. Perfect. Development. We always have another decree. I guess we have to do this Bastion expansion in order for us to get a couple of teleportation points. That's kind of important. Fate of Soulshear. When Staunton Vane turned to evil, his battle hammer was reforged into a glaive named Soulshear and charmed by a demoness named Minago. Now this weapon is in the Crusaders' hands, and only they can decide whether to use its power. Cleanse. Adamantine glaive grants you +2 additional daily use of lay of hands, fervor, and channel energy. Okay, leave it as it is. Do I want that? What charm? While you're wielding, your mount gets... no, that's useless. Leave it. To kill the target summons a demon. Cannot be wielded by righteous people. Yes, yes. By lawful good characters. But well, we have one who can wield it. So no, leave it as it is. The glaive known as Soul Shear became the disgraced symbol of Stormvane's fall. The dark spells cast upon it by the demoness Minago imbued it with power. Now this sinister weapon will be turned against the demons of the world for whom. Yes. Perfect. Where's our main squadron? Can we please continue? The ground is drenched in dragon's blood, dried but still visible. An injured dragon has been resting here recently. Day 21, month Kuthonar, year 4715. Dark splotches of dried blood are visible on the ground. Its foul, pungent scent awakens the predatory instinct of the hunt. Everything nearby is splattered in blood, as if a battle took place here or someone slaughtered a herd of goats. Yet this blood belongs to neither human nor goat. Its sulphurous odor indicates that it is the blood of a rare fire-breathing dragon. Injured and exhausted, the fleeing dragon stopped here to rest. The commander decides to personally examine the trail to impress the assassin. Having examined the blood, the commander points it confidently to the south. The dragon's lair is hidden somewhere among the mountain gorges. The dwarf, who has been watching him, nods in approval. He seems impressed by the commander's tracking skills. Artisan's Tower. Artisan? That artisan? Like our storyteller friend? Interesting. Artisan Tower, hello there. Someone on the road, get ready. Day 21, the commander and his followers are traversing the mountains, trying to track down the female wound worm that has lately been wreaking havoc around Dresden. The dwarf leading the party approaches the edge of the cliff and points down toward the ruins of a tower built upon the rock 300 feet below. Its very existence raises a number of questions. Who would dare to build a tower here so close to the demons? Why would they erect it here at the bottom of a canyon? An expert analysis of the tower structure provides the answers. Numerous features in its design indicate that the building dates back to the golden age of the Aslanti Empire. It is several times older than the world wound and was originally constructed on top of a mountain, before the cataclysm changed everything. It is several times... The tectonic plates shifted, causing the tower to sink to the bottom of a newly formed canyon, and the mountains rose up around it like the jaws of a predator, ready to snap it shut and bury it beneath the rock forever. That's nicely made. Well, there's the dragon. The ancient ruins have been abandoned for ages, barely visible amidst the steep cliffs. The tower would have remained hidden had the commander's party not discovered it by following the trail of blood. The dwarf signals that it is time to descend. The Alpine path leading to the tower soon splits into two directions. On the left is a rocky ledge, dangerously narrow and visibly unstable. On the right is a broad path, covered in overgrown brambles and thickets. There are many poisonous plants in these mountains, some of which are so dangerous that merely touching them can lead to numerous adverse reactions. These include, but not limited to, migraines, disorientation, vomiting, hearing and vision loss, paralysis, and even death. The commander assesses the risks and... overgrown suspicious bushes to the right. Poisonous plants. Let's choose the steep and dangerous path to the left. Commander decides to take the path to the left, which descends steeply down at a dangerous angle. The loose stones along the ledge are treacherous and unstable, and one wrong step could cause a rock slide. This is a task for either a person of outstanding acrobatic talent or someone attentive and cautious. Whoever leads the way will take on the greatest risk. Commander. sends his most agile companion to lead the way. Predictably, the path that's been chosen is full of dangers. Morgraine makes a dangerous leap, dislodging the stones beneath his feet. He comes dangerously close to falling, tethering precariously before managing to regain his balance. Having witnessed such a near tragedy, his companions watch their steps more carefully, and the party navigates the remainder of the perilous trail without further incident. The path comes to an abrupt end. A recent rock slide just destroyed the section of the trail, leaving behind only a few footholds for those brave enough to attempt the crossing. The commander's allies hastily tie themselves together with rope, hoping to prevent a fall if anyone loses their footing. The dwarf silently indicates his mountaineering equipment. If they choose to climb down the mountain cliff, they will be able to get back onto the path and avoid the dangers ahead. Commander orders the strongest of his companions to lead the party's descent down the sheer cliff. Assisted by their training and combat experience, the party climbs down slowly and steadily. Morgraine does not panic or make a single mistake, as he skillfully leads his followers through the treacherous terrain. Eventually, they reach a secure rock ledge. With a cry of warning, the dwarf points to the sky. Giant birds of prey circle ominously overhead. Their beak morphology indicates that their carnivorous nature, and their large size suggests they consider those climbing down the cliff to be prospective prey. It's common for them to fling their quarry against the cliffs and then feed on the carcasses. With ear-piercing shrieks, they swoop into formation and dive down to attack. The commander gives the order to deal with the leader of the flock at all costs. Suspended over the chasm, Morgraine meets the leader of the flock with a decisive blow, the screeching and splashing of blood. The leader plummets. The rest of the flock fly away in fear, not wanting to share his fate. The party overcomes every obstacle and finally descends to the ruined tower. The mountain has been conquered, and no one has fallen victim to its treachery. Now they secretly approach the unsuspecting dragon, stealthily making their way through the surrounding rocks. After leading them to the tower, the dwarf gives his newfound allies a nod of respect and signals for caution. Flying creatures ignore obstacles. Yes, of course they do. What's the storyteller? Let's try to get as close as we can to the dragon without making any noise, then we'll take it by surprise. Greyboar whispers approvingly. We've crept up on the toothy old lizard without her noticing us. It's a pleasure to work with real professionals. Let's get a little closer so we can attack when she least expects it. The dragon looms over an old elf, her vicious teeth bared in an angry snarl. Angry, you recognize his face. He is called the Storyteller. I know you're in league with those little parasites who wounded me. They sent you to spy on me to do their little dirty work. They thought I wouldn't crave the crunch of your old bones. They were wrong. I've always had a special liking for the taste of elven flesh. But I do love to play with my food. What can you offer me in exchange for your pathetic life? I won't kill you if you manage to impress me. The storyteller is pale as a ghost, but he stands strong and doesn't lose his nerve, though his voice trembles slightly as he speaks. A story. Stories are all I have, but some of them are priceless, more valuable than any treasure. This I can offer you in payment. Stay quiet and wait for the right moment to attack. Succeeded. I have a peculiar item on me. Its previous owner was quite sinister, so I think you appreciate the story. Storyteller produces a small bundle from his bag and opens it to reveal a golden signet ring. As he holds it up in his shaking hands, the old man's voice suddenly changes. His tone grows shrill and angry, taking on an exaggerated quality as if doing a mockery invitation of someone else. Imitation. Everything in the throne room is so cheap and vulgar. Jamandi Aldori know nothing about luxury. Another sorry provincial excuse for an aristocrat. And yet I still must bow my head and smile politely at these sword-wagging half-wits. These poor souls have never known anything more luxurious in their life than this rural parody of a palace. I must convince them that I am at their mercy. Soon they will all beg me for mercy. But I'll see that they are given none, or my name isn't Tartukio. And look at those foolish idiots who want to become a baron. What a parade of louts, a whining, bumbling bore, more beard than face, who drones on and on. An insolent, unwashed wench, carrying around a dull gardening tool as her weapon of choice. An undead sadist, carrying an endless amount of emotional baggage from her childhood. She's actually alright, to be fair, but as for the infuriating halfling who never shuts up. How I long to take that little journal of hers and shove it into her babbling mouth so she'll choke on it and be quiet. A worthless creature who clings like a limpet to someone far more important. My greatest rival, a dark horse, will consider this entire performance dedicated to you. The old elf is out of breath, and his diminishing voice becomes harder to discern. Continue to wait for the right moment. This night will be long and bloody. The mercenaries will storm the palace and kill this useless rabble, hopefully starting with all my rivals, but they won't touch me, for I possess a token of immunity, a ring with King Irovetti's personal coat of arms. After all, it is I who must lead the expedition into the stolen lands. Not for stupid titles or glory, oh no. Ah, imagine becoming that fool Yamandi's bootlicker until the end of your life. No, my precious witless little soldiers will procure something a lot more valuable than a barony in the middle of nowhere. Something precious is hidden in the stolen lands. A wooden sword created by someone who was truly powerful. Nothing like the pathetic scraps of metal worn by these pompous Aldori simpletons. No, it is a true instrument of fate. It's a pity I don't know how to use it myself, but King Irovetti will pay me an obscene amount of money for it. Fortune enough for an eternity of endless debauchery. Not to mention the little bonus he'll give me for Jamandi's venture collapsing like a house of cards. Merely a trifle, really. Barely bugs you, a palace in Absalom. And then... Oh, Calistria! This stinkpot with a sword has started flapping her jaws again. Why can't she just shut up? Her manners are worse than a kobold's. Be careful now, Tartuccio. Don't let anything slip about Jamandi. I hope this loud mouth gets stepped tonight. Storyteller's voice grows louder and sharper. It's not like you're being kept prisoner. If you don't want to wait, you can always return to the mountains or whatever other place you crawled out from. I especially advise you to do so if you don't know who the Aldori Sword Lords are. The dragon keeps quiet. Finally she speaks, her voice loud and demanding. How interesting. What happened next? Greybor tenses, ready to spring. He wastes no words. She's thinking. She's distracted. Attack. Now. Greybor to battle. With a deadly silence, more frightening than any battle cry, the dwarf drives his weapon deep into the dragon's side, just beneath dragon's wing, where her scaled hide is weakest. The dragon lets out a deafening roar of pain through clenched teeth. Greybor gives a low chuckle. Sweet dreams.
Let's make this quick.
Don't let the dragon get out of the ground. She'll set everything on fire.
Godspeed.
finished with you. I'm dead. Oops. Okay. So we are at his secret tower. Greybow looks with satisfaction at the surrounding carnage. Well, that's a job well done. You can use her head to decorate your tent. I'm going back to Dresden. It's been a pleasure working with you. I think we should continue working together.
I'm ready to offer you my services.
The dwarf nods
As
politely.
you can guess, a full contract will be more expensive than a one-time job. I think 12,500 gold would be a fair price.
Interesting. Let me guess. If the dragon would have escaped, we would have to pay 25,000. No. I think your services are worth more than that, so I'm willing to double the price.
It is always a great pleasure to work with a client who can tell a professional from an amateur. It's rare these days to find someone who appreciates high-quality work and is willing to pay for what it's worth. I think this is the beginning of a long and productive partnership.
Ready. What can the dragon give us? Amulet. That's it? One amulet? Okay. And it's gone. What? Where's the amulet that we just... Blackened mirror? No. Where's the amulet that I just picked up? Okay. There it is. Half of the pair. Oh, the other half of the pair. I see. Whenever two creatures wearing different half of this pendant are within a 10 feet distance to each other, each gets a +2 circumstance bonus on attack rolls and to AC. Ah, okay. Knowledge Arcana. Though this magic trap is now old and dysfunctional after centuries of disuse, it would once have irreversibly blinded any thief who gazed upon it. Very interesting. This inscription once contained a spell of warning. When an intruder appeared, it would let out a chilling howl to raise the alarm. Fortunately, the enchantment has worn off with the passage of time, so your ears have been spared. What do we have here? Block, clear purpose. Okay. Allow the wearer to cast healing spells without provoking attacks of opportunity. Well, that's mildly interesting. Let's give it to our healer. I mean, technically he's a healer. Oh, we already have clear purpose. Oh, okay. Well, let's get down and we're going to talk to the storyteller for sure.
We march ahead.
Perfect. What else do we have here? Within the pedestal, a faint purple glow emanates from a crystal-shaped hole. Its edges are chipped and cracked, suggesting that whatever it contained has been forcibly removed. Okay. Before we talk to him, loot. What's there? Blah. What's here? Demon blood, huh? Why does he have demon blood from a place that was made before demons entered the world? That's a bit disturbing. Ruins. What ruins? Interesting. Loot. Nope. Nothing here. More loot. Nope, nothing interesting here. Okay. So next episode we're going to talk to this interesting person.